Hey everybody, and welcome back to Lindsey's Little Library. So today is BookList Thursday, and BookList Thursday is something I do with Sarah over at Sarah's Nightstand. We come to you every Thursday with something bookish related. Recommendations, ideas, something like that. So today is kind of a fun little theme. We're going to specifically talk about books set on ships, which surprisingly there's kind of a lot of them. A lot of historical fiction, but that's okay. The first one, let's see, I have 3 books that I have read and 3 books that I have not. So I thought that was a good little, variety. I don't know. And the 3 books that I've read, I really enjoyed. So first one I want to talk about is Haunting the Deep by Adriana Mather. This is the follow-up book to How to Hang a Witch. So I don't want to spoil anything because it is the second book. Do you have to read them in an order? Kind of. Otherwise you get a little spoiled for something. But this one has something to do with the Titanic. And there's ghosts and there's creepiness and it's fantastic. So yeah. Like I said, the first one is How to Hang a Witch. Awesome. Just as fantastic. And then Haunting the Deep comes after it. Really liked that. Next book I have is Salt to the Sea by Ruta Sepetys. This one, the whole premise of the book is this group of 4 teenagers are attempting to make their way to the Wilhelm Gustloff. This is winter 1945. They are kind of fleeing war-torn Europe and walking on foot to kind of safety on this ship. So you're not necessarily on the ship, but the whole premise is like getting these 4 teenagers to this ship and to the Wilhelm Gustloff is going to leave and take these refugees and get them to safety. So it is a fantastic book. It's so beautiful. It's told by, there's 4 different perspectives that you read about as you go through it. It goes so fast. It's fantastic. And then the next one that I've read is Refugee by Alan Gratz. This actually takes 3 different people's perspectives, and each one of them has part of their journey takes place on a boat. So we have Joseph, who is a Jewish boy fleeing Nazi Germany in the 30s. We have Isabel, who is a Cuban girl in the 90s fleeing Cuba. And we have Mahmoud, who is a Syrian boy in 2015 fleeing Syria. So this is actually fantastic for young readers. I had Riley read this. She absolutely loved it. We have so many questions after this book. I love this book. Alan Gratz is just a genius when it comes to these. So highly recommend Refugee as well. All right, so for the 3 books that I haven't read, first one I have is The True Confessions of Charlotte Doyle. This is a middle grade book by, who is it even by? It's not on the front. That is strange. It just has AV on it? Huh, interesting. Anyways, says treason and treachery on the high seas. So we're in 1832. We have Charlotte Doyle. She's returning home to Rhode Island from England, where she has been going to school. So she is supposed to travel with 2 families on this boat to get back home, and both families end up canceling their trip. And so she is kind of in a not so great situation where she now has to get on the ship. She's a young girl all by herself. She finds herself kind of in the middle of a conflict between, let's see, a cruel captain and a mutinous crew. So what begins as an eagerly anticipated ocean crossing turns into a harrowing journey where Charlotte gains a villainous enemy and is put on trial for murder. All in this little book. So I don't know why I haven't read this yet, but I need to get to that. The next one I have is 7 Days in May by Kim Izzo. This is inspired by true events and also inspired by the author's family history. So I'm really excited about this. So we have the beginning of the First World War, and there's 2 New York heiresses. We have Sydney and Brooke Sinclair, and they're due to set sail for England. Brooke is engaged to marry, I guess, what is it? The future Lord Northbrook in the wedding of the year. And Sydney is going along, but is a huge proponent of the suffrage movement, which is a whole embarrassment to Brooke. And so she's going along as well. They're very excited to get over to England. And unfortunately, right before this, it is announced, Germany announces and says, any ships trying to cross the Atlantic, like, be warned. And these two girls get on the Lusitania. And we both know what happens to Lusitania. So it follows their story. Again, another one I'm really excited about and can't wait to get to. And the last book I have for you, first of all, let's just appreciate this cover for just a moment. Oh, so pretty. Is The Deep. It's by Alma Katsu. This is the same author as The Hunger that I read not that long ago. I like how she takes historical events and puts little twists on them that makes you kind of like think a little outside the box. And that's what she did on this one. It says, what really happened on board the Titanic? Someone or something must be haunting the ship. Between mysterious disappearances and sudden deaths, the guests of the Titanic have found themselves suspended in an eerie, unsettling twilight zone from the moment they set sail. Several of them, including maid Annie, guest Mark, and millionaires Madeline and Benjamin, are convinced there's something sinister, almost otherworldly afoot. But before they can locate the source of the danger, as the world knows, disaster strikes. So excited about that one. So those are 6 books that are set aboard ships. There's a lot more. I mean, I could do a whole nother video. There's a lot more out there, so I'm excited to see what Sarah has for her books that are set on ships. Otherwise, if you have some good recommendations, leave them in the comment below, like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye.